Hey ladies and gents, my name is Sam and I owe you guys a review. As you will recall, I made a Teen Titans review and Teen Titans Go preview, which you can watch here. And I said that I would post a Teen Titans Go review. I'm just a little fashionably late. Except fashionably late is usually like a quarter of an hour instead of 1 month. The way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to be going through the pros, the cons, and the stuff that I'm a bit conflicted about. The first pro that I definitely have to give to this is the references. I really adore seeing references in pretty much every TV show, especially when it's used in this kind of way with little stylizations and everything. It makes it that much of a cooler experience to be able to see these little Easter eggs hidden within the show. I also kind of like the costume changes and seeing like senior citizen titans at the end of other episodes, because it's the kind of thing that you don't really see, and admittedly you probably shouldn't see it, because if they like turned into senior citizens and died, that would kind of ruin the show. And one other thing that I really liked is having the old cast. And I think it's mainly just because it gives me somewhat of that nostalgia from the old Teen Titans, even though I did just watch it a month ago, so... And I know that it's one of those things that's just like, you're trying to compare Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go again. Because it is pretty important to make sure that you don't really compare them, because they are different shows. Things I am conflicted about. Characters. The thing that I really liked about the characters is that they include kind of different ones, like they'll have different heroes. So they had parts with like the Wonder Twins and Bee-Wannabes and Tigress. I thought that was pretty cool. But I didn't really like how they used the villains, which kind of makes sense though, because the show is centered around the Teen Titans and just what they do in their free time as opposed to them fighting off villains. But the thing that I also didn't really like is the characters just really feel so stereotypical. At the risk of annoying Teen Titans Go fans by doing more comparisons between the two shows, I really liked how they managed to show off the Teen Titans in the original Teen Titans as being more than just the stereotypical leader, jock, class clown, weird kid, goth person stereotypes. They managed to expand them further, and they said, oh, she's a goth because if she lets her emotions get out of control, she'll kill everyone. Whereas in this case, they're just flat 2D characters, kind of like how I was talking in my Teen Titans Go preview. Yeah, I'm just advertising now. Now on to things that I didn't like. One thing that I do have to say about the show is that I can't really criticize the action that much. Why? Because they didn't have any. One of the episodes, literally they built up the entire thing towards this big fight between Robin and Beast Boy fighting for control over the team, that ended with Robin tickling him with a feather until he gave in. Why? In fact, on a related note, I am not a fan of the humour. Now, I know that you can say, oh Sam, it's a kid's show, you're not a kid. I agree, I'm not a kid. It's definitely a kid's show judging from the humour. But I don't think that's a really good excuse. If Adventure Time and Gravity Falls and My Little Pony and SpongeBob and just Tumblr in general have taught us anything, it's that humour and like children's TV programming don't necessarily have to be specifically for their tiny little demographic. Don't get me wrong, I totally understand that there are shows that generally are more kids' domain. For example, that is why I do not watch Dora the Explorer. I know, shock horror. You can have shows that are just so amazing that pretty much everybody gets in on it. Of course, if it was someone in the demographic of like a 6-year-old reviewing this, they might like it better. So if you're younger than, I don't know, like 16 or just my age of 20, you might like this. I don't, I'm sorry. And final thing is presentation. Now this is something else that Teen Titans lovers tend to get a bit annoyed about, because Teen Titans Go haters will say, oh my god, it's so ugly and so unrealistic. At which point Teen Titans Go fans will say, oh, but Teen Titans is also somewhat unrealistic. And to which I say, Teen Titans Go is stylized. I'm more than willing to watch something that's stylized. I really like some stylized thing. One of my favourite comics ever, in fact one of the only comics I've ever read ever, is Scott Pilgrim, and I absolutely love the style of just like the big eyes and the really simple kind of feel, but also really cool looking feel. Teen Titans Go is not really as good. And that's not to say it's too simplistic, because I mean, you can look at Adventure Time and that's pretty simplistic, but I think that's a better looking thing. Scott Pilgrim, also fairly simplistic. I still think that looks better though. In short, I don't think it's really about complexity, it's just about how good it looks. And I just don't really like the way it looks. My opinion. Feel free to argue and troll me. Oh, final opinion. The show doesn't really have any plot or action, which really kind of lost it for me. And I was hoping that it was going to make it up with humour, and it works well in some cases, because there are some episodes that you just think, that is going to be so shit. Then you watch it and you're like, oh, it's not too bad. But ultimately, the kiddie humour gets old really quickly. If you're closer to that demographic than I, you may enjoy it. And even if you're not, even if you're still in my demographic, like, I probably won't watch My Little Pony, but I know there are tons of guys who are older than me will, and be kind of weird, but each to their own. I'm not gonna judge. But I just didn't really find it entertaining, and honestly, after this episode, I'm not watching anymore. I say I'm so sorry that I haven't been able to post things in ages. I'm trying to post things, but then stuff's glitched out, and then I've lost all my data, and then I do have a super cool project though that I've been working on for quite some time, which I'm going to be posting onto my main channel, so please subscribe to that. Also, feel free to subscribe to this one. I'll probably put an update in one of my videos saying, oh look, go look at the thing. So yeah. Also, please like and comment. Tell me what you thought about Teen Titans Go. I'd love to see especially what younger people think, what older people think. Also, does anyone else kind of agree with the whole kiddie humour not necessarily having to be only for kids? Do you really think that TV shows need to like step up their game and be a bit more universally appealing? Tell me in the comments. And I hope to see you guys soon. Can't reach. Yeah, bye.